Hey y'all, what's up? It's Victoria from Supergeeked, and I have another What Sold video for you. This is what sold for me in the month of February 2023 on all the platforms I sell on, which includes eBay, Poshmark, Etsy, and Mercari. So I'm going to share with you some sales, good and bad. I really enjoy these type of videos and learning what is selling for you. So maybe we can help each other out when we're outsourcing in the thrift store and know some new brands to try, or some brands that are sort of slowing down and not as great to sell. I am both a clothing and hard goods seller, but mainly clothing, though we're going to start on Etsy today with an antique. And it was an item that I really did not want to sell. I was really hoping, and I listed it really high, hoping that maybe nobody would buy it. It is an antique Nippon moon vase. It was beautifully hand-painted floral and gilded, which usually is in 14 to 24 karat gold, and then also had moriage, which is the raised, textured dot patterns that you see sometimes on antique ceramics. It was absolutely beautiful in pastel colors and fit perfectly in my living room, but it did unfortunately sell, and I like money more than I like having things sitting around, so it sold on Etsy. It did take a little bit to sell, which, like I said, I didn't mind because I enjoyed it for 226 days. I had purchased it for $15 from an antique store locally here, and as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh, I knew exactly what it was. So Nippon actually means Japan. Between about 1891 and 1921, you would often see ceramics imported to the United States stamped Nippon, and that isn't one company. It was made by lots of companies. It just meant that it was imported from Japan. So this is useless information probably unless you're going to start selling antiques. But in 1891, the McKinley Tariff Act is what required that imported porcelain in China from Japan be marked Nippon. Now in 1921, that would change and items would begin to be marked Japan. Later on, you didn't even have to have it stamped Japan. There could just be a sticker made in Japan, but clearly after 1921, it was no longer called Nippon. So if you find something that's marked Nippon, unless it is a reproduction or a fake, it is an antique. So this was a stunning moon vase. I really did not want to sell it. These moon vases look like little baskets, and it was just so beautiful. But like I said, I like money more. So it sold on Etsy for $181.82. I paid $16.05 at an antique store for it. Fees were $18.50 from Etsy, and shipping was $8.82. So I came home with $138.42. So excellent sale, but I am still kind of sad that she left. Next up, we're going to talk about a couple Mercari sales. Mercari is still a site that I list on, but much like Etsy, there's not consistent sales. However, with Vendoo, it's super easy to cross post, so I continue to do it because a sale is a sale. So whether it's coming in droves or I just trickling in, there's still sales and I'm still making money, so I'm not gonna stop. So I'll continue to use Vendoo and cross post to the platforms I sell on. The first is an Anthropologie Pilcro sweater. It's called the Marla sweater, and it was a really cool, it had a really cool design in the sort of open knit. It only took 39 days to sell on Mercari, and it sold for $44. I paid $6.91 at the thrift store. Fees were $6.18. Shipping was $8.22. I do free shipping on Mercari, and so I came home with $22.69. The next item from Mercari, I would not pick up again. I've only bought this brand one time to resell, and this is it. It took 302 days to sell. It's the brand Cavu, which is sort of like an, outdoorsy. They make canvas bags. It was this fold over like tote bag, and the funny thing is right after it sold on Mercari, it sold on Poshmark too, which is weird because it sat for so long. So I don't think I'll be picking this brand up again, but let me know in the comments if you have any experience with Kavu and you know what your experience has been, but I don't think I'll be picking it up. I sold it for $22 and I'd only sourced it for $2.23 at the thrift store, but after fees and shipping, I only brought home $11.55. Still a sale and I'm grateful for the money, but I don't think I'll be picking it up again. And sometimes you have to experiment with brands. So next we're gonna move on over to eBay. First up were some Citizens of Humanity jeans. These were called the Rocket High Rise Skinny Jean and the wash was called Orbit. It took 68 days to sell on eBay, not too bad. They sold for $52.55. I had got them at a thrift store for $4.85. And so after fees and shipping, I made $30.41. I've talked about before with Citizens of Humanity, I do still pick them up, but it's gotta be a newer on-trend style for me to get them because the sell-through rate isn't great and not all styles will sell for a good price point. The next item I certainly would not pick up again. I got this towards the beginning of my reselling clothing career, and because I've been reselling really since the late 90s off and on, and I usually only did hard goods and antiques, but now in the last few years I've gotten into clothing. Anyway, picked up this DKNY jacket. It was vintage. It was like an empire waist. It was a cute jacket. However, DKNY, which is Donna Karan, New York, if you don't know that, doesn't really have a good sell-through rate. It just is not a brand people are searching out. So it took 1,080 days to sell, and I remember picking this up at a thrift store in Nashville when I was there. They had a big sale and I acquired it then. It did sell for $40.20, which is really good, and I'd sourced it for $3.06. And after fees and shipping, I made $23.63, but I still don't think it's worth waiting 1,000 days for $23, so wouldn't get it again. Next up is a ModCloth dress. This is Anna Sui, and I've often talked about how ModCloth carries other brands. They have a lot of sub-brands, much like Anthropologie. They have carried Anna Sui before, and I've bought several of this style dress. I think 3 or 4 I've sold over the years. This was my last one, and it was really pretty. It was a flowy dress that had sort of like an attached cape, and it was flocked in velvet. And flocking just means it's like textured in velvet. It's not all velvet, but it might have like floral appliques that are velvet. But it was brand new with tags, and it took 1,102 days to sell. So it's quite a while. However, I don't mind sitting on ModCloth because generally dresses like this, I sometimes will pay up because I'm gonna get a good price point. So this did sell for $75.65 on eBay. I had paid $20 for it. So again, I paid up for it. And after fees and shipping, I made $40.05. So I would still pick this up, even though this particular one took a little bit to sell. I have sold others of this style, and so I knew eventually it would sell. It just needed the right buyer. Next up is some vintage Lilly Pulitzer. Now this is the white tag Lilly Pulitzer, which is, you know, 90s Y2K era. I don't generally pick up white tag Lilly. However, this was a cute little dress that had frogs and lily pads on it. I just thought it was cute. I thought it was worth a shot. I did check comps on it because, like I said, some of the white tag Lilly just does not move. And it sold in 58 days on eBay for $50.20. I'd paid $7.34 when I was on that road trip to Memphis. And after fees and shipping, I made $31.12. So definitely a good sale. This was a Ben's pickup. It was a vintage Robert Stock is the brand. I don't pick up tons of men's, but I'm definitely getting into more men's clothing this year. But I would pick it up at the Ben's often when I was there if I found something cool. And this was like a pinup Hawaiian shirt. So it was a button up. It took 211 days to sell, but I've mentioned before with vintage, I don't mind sitting on it. Sometimes it takes the right buyer. It sold on eBay for $46.65. And of course I got it at the Ben's. So it was under $2. And after fees and shipping, I made $31.87. Okay, another good sale. If you've been here for a bit, you know that I've often said I have a love-hate relationship with both Eileen Fisher and J. Jill. I have been sort of picking up more Eileen Fisher, especially if it's plus size. This was a 2XL silk slouch pant. And I thought it was, you know, a basic style, but with it being silk and plus size, I thought that's two things going for it. I'm gonna pick it up. It sold in 56 days. They sold for my full asking price of $85. I'd pay $4.91 at the thrift store, and after fees and shipping, I made $58.94. So I definitely will be picking up Eileen Fisher, especially if it's silk and plus size. Next up was this old troublesome vintage Christian Dior sweater. Now, you heard me talk about this when I did my video about my Etsy issue. They automatically took down this sweater. I think that it's because Christian Dior is flagged on Etsy. I've read a bunch of Reddits about the same thing happening to people. So it must be some sort of flagged word, because this was authentic. And they put a hold on my account on Etsy, but I'll link that video up above if you want to watch that. This did sell on eBay for $62.55. I paid $6.57 at the thrift store. It was just a basic sweater, but it was Christian Dior, and it was the Monsieur line. The Monsieur line used to be sold in department stores in the 80s and 90s. So after deductions and shipping, I made $40.58, and I was glad to finally see it go bye-bye because I'd had such an issue listing it. So yeah, thankful for that sale. All right, now we are moving on to Poshmark. First up is a brand I talked about in my last What Sold video. I do like to pick up cut from the cloth. I am particular about the sizes I pick up, and I only pick up the new tag cut from the cloth. And this is why this was an older style and it took 323 days to sell. So I would not pick up this style again. However, it did sell for $55. I just had to wait a while. I had paid $9.62 at the thrift store, so that must have been an expensive thrifting trip. But after fees on Poshmark, I made $34.38. So still a great sale, but I wouldn't pick up that style again, and it was an older one. So next up is Talbots. I don't usually get Talbots, but I saw this super cute blazer, and it's something I totally would wear, you know, because I love pink. And it was a gingham, pink and white gingham print, and it was brand new. It had tags. So it sold in 84 days, so not too bad, for my full asking price of $75. I only paid $4.69 at a local thrift store, and after Poshmark fees of $15, I took home $55.31. So that's an example of a brand that I normally would not pick up, but I picked it up based on two things, which is style and new with tags. So usually I'm looking for it to have two special things about it for me to give pause and consider picking it up. So this brand is a great brand to know. It's called House of CB London. It doesn't sell super fast. It did sell in 60 days on Poshmark, but it's a hot brand with celebrities. So often you can find photos of different celebrities wearing these dresses. This one was adorable. I picked it up on a thrift trip in New Orleans for $3.32, and it sold for $70 on Poshmark. Fees were $14 and I made $52.68. So I have another one listed that I picked up. I made that video of where I paid $40 an item at a dirt cheap, and it was a Nordstrom buyout. I did pick up a House of CB London dress there that was new with tags, so that is listed right now, and I have no doubt that it'll sell eventually. Next up, I have to give a shout out to my girl, Melissa, the Thrifty Broad. I will link her YouTube channel below. She's an awesome reseller. She's been so supportive of me and my journey, and I just love her to death. And she bought this vintage Puritan slipwear. Slipwear is a very porous, fragile pottery. It was very popular in the 40s, and that's when this is from. It was a sugar, creamer, and syrup breakfast set. Really cute. I had picked it up for $6.39. It sold for $28, which was my full asking price, and she didn't tell me she was going to buy it until after she bought it. A little stinker. And so after Poshmark fees, I made $16.01, but I also sent her a bunch of goodies. She did unbox it on her channel. I sent her some Mardi Gras favors and some super geek stuff. So if you ever purchase from me, don't forget to message me either on Instagram or through whatever site you purchase from me, and I'm happy to send you some goodies in your package too. So thank you so much, Melissa, for your support. All right, this is a brand I like. I like the styles, but it seems to move pretty slow for me. So it's Schutz, and these were some really pretty suede espadrille sandals. They look like they had never been worn, really great quality, but they took 931 days to sell. They did sell for $65. I had paid $6.86 at the thrift store. And after Poshmark fees of $13, I made $45.14. So great sale, but don't think that they're gonna sell super fast because every pair of Schutz I've ever had have sat. All right, next up is a brand you're probably not gonna be surprised about. It's Good American, and these sold in 17 days. They were white jeans. Now, white jeans were out for a bit, but I definitely think they're coming back. I seem to be selling a lot of white and black jeans. White's very popular here in the southern part of the United States. These only took 17 days. They sold for $52 on Poshmark. And after cost of goods fees and a shipping discount, I made $32.39. Good American still moves really well for me. I personally like Good American jeans, so very happy to pick those up. Bolo brand I finally found thrifting. I believe I might have got this in New Orleans, but it's Reese, and it was this pretty blue dress. I really liked it. Or maybe I got this in Mobile on one of our thrift trips. But it was a pretty little bodycon dress, sort of like a sheath shape, but form-fitting, and it sold for $55, and after cost of goods and fees, no shipping discount, I made $36.66, and the buyer just loved it. All right, I mentioned this sale on Instagram, and it is Anthropologie's Akimi and Ken. It was a lace tunic embroidered dress in a marigold color, really pretty. It sold in 24 days on Poshmark for $50, and after fees and my cost of goods, I made $36.68. Another vintage piece is this Jessica McClintock little 90s slip dress. It was in an aqua color with black tulle and lace. Really cute. I knew it would sell really well. It sold on Poshmark in 55 days for $45, and I sourced it for $6.57 at the thrift store. After Poshmark fees of $9, I made $29.43. I should say that it was Jessica McClintock for Gunny Sacks. You can purchase just Jessica McClintock, but this was a Gunny Sacks collab. The only Gunny Sacks collabs that I will pick up from the 90s are the cocktail dresses. Those do well. Otherwise, the styles of the Gunny Sacks Jessica McClintock collab don't sell as well, but the cocktail dresses from the 90s do. Another fairly quick sale was this Anthropologie 11sies pants. I've heard other resellers say they don't pick up 11sies anymore. It's one that's been around for a bit, but these were cute. They were paper bag waisted and they had a tie waist. I picked these up for $5.50 at the thrift store. They took 46 days to sell for $35, and I came home with $22.50. I thought this dress was super precious, but it took forever to sell, and I'm just really surprised. So it's a Bowden heart print dress. It had a tie waist. It took 628 days to sell on Poshmark. It sold for $56, and after all the deductions and my cost of goods, I came home with $37.28. I would still pick it up even though it took a long time to sell, but I don't know, it's super cute. I guess maybe because it was size 4, I don't know. I sell small sizes, so who knows. Okay, I love Lululemon shorts. They go super fast for me. These are the tracker shorts in the 4-inch. And they're called the cherry tint, but they're like a mauve-y pink. They sold in 48 days on Poshmark for $55, which was my full asking price. I had paid $6.91 for them at the thrift store, and after fees, I made $37.09. Don't pass up those Lululemon running shorts. They do really well. Even the older styles. Another vintage sale. You know your girl loves vintage. These are from the 90s. I probably totally wore these in 1992. They were the brand called Scoozy, which with vintage, the brand doesn't really matter unless it's like a well-known brand that's still around today. But they were striped pink and mint denim shorts and very high-waisted mom style shorts. They sold on Poshmark for $30, and after all the deductions, I made $12.14. So not a huge sale, but I definitely like selling vintage. Those pieces can be more special, so yeah, glad I got those. I mentioned these dang flats in my most recent A Week in the Life. I'll link that video up above if you want to check that out. I did A Week in the Life where you thrifted with me, you shipped with me, you worked with me, all the fun things, and I talked about these. So I had a return request on these. They were some Anthropologie Pilcrow and the letterpress Trinket Flats. Now the Trinket Flats, there's been several styles. These had tennis rackets on it. I thought they were cute. They were turquoise color leather and they were in fairly good condition, definitely pre-owned. I don't know that I would pick them up now, but I picked them up at the beginning of my reselling career and I talk about it on there, but I sold them for $25 because they'd been sitting for 635 days and I was just ready to get rid of them. And after deductions and everything, I only made $15.05 on those. So I probably, like I said, would not pick them up now, but I had so much trouble with this lady. And I mentioned in that video, it's always the sales that are $25 and under and the people who ask a lot of questions that seem to want to do these crazy returns. So that's that sale. Next up were some Madewell jeans, 10-inch high-rise skinnies, and the wash was called Eclipse. And they sold in 72 days on Poshmark for $50. After all my deductions, I took home $32.58 on those. And then a brand I used to pick up all the time about 3 years ago, I don't pick it up anymore, is White House Black Market. It used to have 100% sell-through rate for me, but these, they took 552 days to sell, but they were really cute, like a Ponte legging, but they had vegan leather on the front. I thought they were really cute style. They reminded me of like riding pants, but they were a 00, and that may have been why it took a little bit to sell too. They did sell for my full asking price of $65, and I must have got these at the bins because they were only $1.97. After Poshmark fees of $13, I made $50.03, which is an awesome sale. And like I said, I still like the style. I think the style would still be good today. Just White House Black Market does not do as well as it used to. Another Anthro dress. This is Postmark, and I'm very particular about Postmark styles I pick up, but this had tennis rackets all over. I guess we have a tennis racket theme for this video, but it was a grass color, and your girl loves a good novelty dress, so I did get it. It sold in 78 days on Poshmark for 30 bucks. I'd only paid $3.32 for it, and after Poshmark took out their $6, I came home with $20.68. Next, we have the brand Shoshana. I love this dress brand. It has a really good sell-through rate, even on styles that are older. And this was a navy sheath dress. Nothing exciting to write home about, but this brand does retail for a lot, and it seems to sell really good for me. So this sold in 77 days on Poshmark for $48. I'd paid $3.32 at the thrift store, and after Poshmark fees, I came home with $35.08. So I'll continue to pick up Shoshana. And then another Eileen Fisher. I told you I'm trying with Eileen Fisher. Now, I did get this because it was a cute style. It's a shirt dress, very trendy right now. It can be paired with sneakers, with a little platform. I could totally see somebody rocking this. It was linen, so it was a button front shirt dress, and it sold again in 77 days on Poshmark. It sold for $55, which is great, and I sourced it for $4.42. And after Poshmark fees, I brought home $39.58. And last sale I'm going to share with you in this video is this Equipment silk shirt. I picked up 2 of these at the Goodwill bins in Jackson, Mississippi. I was excited. The best finds are always the ones at the very bottom of the bin. Usually everybody's tossed everything on top, you know, toss the salad, but the goodies are at the bottom. And so, toss the salad. I don't know if I should have said that. Anyway, but they were folded up, and I found a sink of sep. I found some great designer stuff, but these two equipment silk blouses in a blue and a coral color were there, and this one sold on Poshmark for $55. I paid $1.54 at the bins, and after fees I took home $42.46. So overall, February average sale price was down about $3 from January. This month, my average sale price was $50.60. My average sourcing price was $6.05. That's average of what I'm paying for the merchandise, for the items that I am reselling online. So it really was a good month, but I'm hoping March is coming through with a higher ASP and we get up to that $53 again. I like to stay in the $50 to $55 range, and so that's where we're at, peeps. So I hope you enjoyed this what sold video and seeing some of the items I'm selling online. Let me know how your sales were in February, and I've got more videos coming out. I'm gonna have a haul, and of course I've got an ongoing series called Mend It Monday, so stay tuned for that. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed, definitely do that on the way out if you're interested in reselling content, and don't forget to like the video, hit the bell for notification, and let me know what your favorite sale was from this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, y'all.